Ready to Love, Party Crashers, episode number 4, season number 6. Let's go. Hi there, Simply Subbies. Welcome back to the Simply Stacy YouTube channel. It's your girl Stacy, and we are here with another round of reality recap. This is for Ready to Love on the OWN Network. This is season number 6, episode number 4. It is called Party Crashers. And why, you might ask? Well, of course, there are people going to crash the party. Okay, so it starts off with the Gentleman's Lounge. So all the fellas show up looking, real good. And Tommy lets them know that there are going to be 2 new people coming again for blind dates. So this is the 3rd round of blind dates. So remember, after week 1 with the mixer, week 2, 2 people, a guy and a girl came. A guy and a girl came the following week. And this is the 3rd week that a guy and a girl is going to come. He specifically says, you know what, Wiley? All the women have been giving you a hard time because you're, the youngest of the bunch. How about I bring somebody in that's about your age or at least a little bit closer to it? So Wiley like, you know what? I can more than handle that. I'm like, okay, Wiley, we gonna see, honey. We gonna see. And then, of course, the next person will be a fella. So one of the ladies will be going out with the guy. So we get right to the blind dates. Wiley, who is 32, he is the son of the Go-Go creator, the creator of Go-Go Dancing. That is his father. And he actually gets set up with the lady. They kept calling her Tina by her name, so maybe she goes by Tina. But then sometimes the men will call her Christina. So her name is Christina. She goes by Tina, and she is 31. So she's only 1 year younger than Wiley. And she is an esthetician. They do go a little bit in depth about her story, and she has a 2-year-old daughter. I believe she said the daughter is 2 years old. She was dating a guy, her last relationship, found out he was cheating on her 6 months into her pregnancy, and that was all she wrote. So that is very unfortunate, but she got her beautiful daughter out of it, and that is who she has been living for ever since. He likes Tina. He likes Tina's look. And she also thinks he's nice looking. They both have on this shade of army green. So they're like, oh, look at that. It wasn't even on purpose. And we're out here complimenting each other's style. They did talk about that quite a bit. And when Wiley does ask her, he's like, okay, she's beautiful and everything. Let's see if we can get a little bit deeper. He asked her about her last relationship. And the first thing in her mouth was, it was toxic. So here's the thing about that. Whether it was or wasn't toxic, I feel like there's always a way. And you guys comment down below if y'all think I'm wrong or let me know what y'all think about this. But there's always a way to go about on a date talking about a past relationship. And you probably shouldn't use words like toxic and all that. You can just say, things didn't work out. You want to kind of keep it light, upbeat kind of. Or, I learned a few things about it. I learned a few things from that relationship, and this is what I've learned. We grew apart. There was a little bit of infidelity, but I don't want to get into that right now. Something. I probably wouldn't even bring up that part, but it wasn't on her end. So I guess she could say that, or we apparently weren't on the same page, but she just was toxic. I was like, okay, because I think that just makes people look at situations a little bit different. So yeah, she probably should practice how she goes about talking about her past relationship, especially on her first date, our first blind date at that, meaning they've had no interactions before then and all that stuff. She basically tells him about her story and her daughter, and then she goes on to say that she doesn't think she's ever been in love. Which that's another thing. She is 31. So maybe she thought she was in love with him. Then when he cheated on her, she realized maybe she wasn't. I'm not sure if that's just her defense mechanism or if she really truly did not think that she was in love with that guy. Her and Wiley do have a good time though, and they do end up exchanging numbers. Next up is a second blind date, but this one includes Precious. So she's actually the youngest girl on there right now. She's 34. And then Donovan. Now, Donovan is 42. So I said, okay. He's a realtor. He's very, very attractive, very put together. He does have a beard, but he also has hair as well. So he's not one of your bald and bearded guys like we've been seeing a lot. He's originally from California. And so Precious is tall. I think she's one of the tallest women there. And you can see that he's actually taller than her. So I was like, okay, so he's really tall. He did comment that she was tall. He kind of liked that initially. He's attracted to her. And they both think each other are nice looking. Then I noticed this little sparkle. And I was like, Donovan, do you have a nose ring, sir, at 42? Threw me all the way off. I'm just going to leave that right there. Y'all can let me know what y'all think about that. I mean, it wasn't like outrageous or like very distracting, but you could see a little glimmer from the nose ring. And I was like, okay, this man has a nose ring at 42. But he was definitely dressed professionally. He's a realtor, so I guess it's fine. Precious goes on to tell about herself. She was in a relationship 9 years ago, but she's been abstinent for 6 months or celibate for 6 months or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay. Donovan says that he was married for 12 years, but that he was basically the problem. That's kind of what he said without going into details. But he said he's learned a lot from that. He's ready to love now. He knows exactly what he wants. He's looking for that. And then all of a sudden, like, the temperature switches and Precious is like extra aggressive, and I don't even want to say aggressive because I know how that's a trigger word for people, but like sexually so, like sexually aggressive, like making all these innuendos and basically just throwing it out there and saying how hot and bothered she is, and she don't know if he's putting down what she's picking up. And you can kind of see his little laughter was like, there's a little bit uncomfortableness to it. And she's like, I don't think he's picking up what I'm putting down. I'm like, no, he gets it. It just probably turned him off. I'm not sure. She then also says, like, the other ladies are going to get to know who you are, but at this point, you don't even need to meet the other ladies. I'm going to let them know that you are here and you are mine. And he was just like, like a little nervous laugh again. I was like, Lord, you're the first person he done met, ma'am. Let him mingle and mix and get to know the other women. But yeah, she was a little bit strong there. Okay, so next up, Laverne and Joy, they go to a pottery class. Laverne sets this date up. He says that Joy really wanted to do pottery, so I'm assuming that they have been talking off camera. We saw that or maybe not even off camera, because they did have some group dates where they worked together, but this is their first one-on-one date. They definitely have a good little chemistry or bond. They both are looking for their best friends, and they actually do recreate the ghost scene where, he gets up behind her and helps her with the pottery. They're talking a little bit. Now, he does say, this is what stood out to me most about the date, is that he hasn't really had a relationship in the traditional sense. And Joy's like, okay, so what does that mean? He was like, yeah, I was just dating. So I'm like, so you never like committed? So you have commitment problems? Laverne, make it make sense. Like, I think he's in his 40s. And you've never really had a traditional relationship where you were with the person. So yeah, I don't know. I'm sensing red flags, but we're going to see how this goes. Okay, next up is Demetrius and Ap. So Ap is the lady who came last week, who was the widower. I can't remember if it's widow or widower. Her husband passed away, and they were married for like, I think 10 to 12 years, somewhere like that. And so they go on a date, and he's like, our first encounter was not good the last time I got a chance to meet her, but let's see how this goes. I want to see if she can get deep and all that stuff. So they have a conversation. There's really nothing to write home about. The one thing that she did is, again, express what happened in her previous marriage or life where her husband passed away, and that she'd done the work and she's ready to be back. Demetrius does point out something. And he's like, I don't know if she's actually ready to love. Like, I don't know that she's actually over that. It seems like she's telling herself that she is, and she was able to open up, but he doesn't feel any romantic spark. Remember, she told Clifton he reminded her of her brother. Wiley reminded her of her college students when she was a professor. Like, she's not connecting with anyone, honestly. So she just may not be there. And so I was like, well, Demetrius, you might actually be on to something. Next up is the pool party. So I actually like episodes when it's a brunch, a mix, or a pool party or something, because it's just easier to discuss, because everybody is in the place. The new people are there. The old people are there. It actually starts out with Eric in the kitchen, and the fellas come into the kitchen of this like pool house or beach house that Tommy has rented for them. And he's like, this is my domain. I'm going to cook us up a little something. The men are outside talking and chatting while he's in the kitchen cooking. He is the celebrity chef. And yeah, it looks like they're going to have a fun time. But now, mind you, it is just the fellas. Tommy comes in and lets them know, like, guys, I just want you all to know the ladies are coming. Let's go. So the ladies walk in. They got their pool gear on. They got their beach wear, their heels, their hats, their shades. They out here, fabulous. The men are like, okay, we see all this skin and everything. So it's just looking nice. Everybody liking it. Okay, so they get there, and basically Tommy lets them know that a woman will be going home tonight. It is the men's week to pick and choose. And so, they need to mix and mingle and have a good time. So one thing I did forget to mention, like while I said they're at a pool party, everybody got on bikinis and swim trunks. Tommy come in here with a blazer and a turtleneck. And I was like, maybe he flew in from, where the hell did he fly in from? Because, Tommy, you're in the wrong season, sir. He did make a little joke about it, like, yeah, I can't compete with any of y'all bodies out here, so I got me on the turtleneck. Because I'm like, you realize you look crazy. Tommy, I know you ain't staying for the party, but why you got this turtleneck on? And it's apparently summertime. Craziness. Tommy does let everybody know that there will be no more blind dates. This is all that there is. No new people are adding, so they can actually get a chance to just get to know who they know. It's no more like, oh, I wonder if somebody better is coming in because this is what you have. Tina and Desmond do get a chance to, meet the rest of the people. Now, it was funny, too. When Tommy comes in, it's like these bongos playing. He dancing around. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like, it was so kind of weird. But I was like, okay, whatever is made for TV. Daikia is 39-year-old. She actually is chatting with Donovan, who is the new guy. And he's a 42-year-old realtor. And Daikia is the one, I believe she told Eric that she was a systems engineer and she owned her own dance studio. So they both are very well established. They're having a good conversation, a good chat, and you can tell that there's a little bit of spark. Donovan is attracted to her. He says that she has sparked his interest. Then there's Paul, who is the oldest guy. He's 48. And then the youngest girl who just showed up, Christina, who is 31. And basically she says, I've always dated older men. Like when I was in junior high school, I was dating high school. When I was in high school, I was dating college men. And like she likes an older man. So here I go like, dang, Tommy, you done brought somebody for Wiley. And she don't even like younger men. I don't know who did that due diligence or why he assumed she was going to like Wiley. But either way, they have a magnetic connection is what they say. She tells him about, her daughter and all this stuff. Now, Paul does say he likes her. Seems like she has an old soul. But he does think that, the younger they are, the more trouble that they are. And I'm going to say, Paul, you're not wrong. Paul, you are not wrong. Because she's 31, you 48, Paul. I don't even know if you can keep up. But go ahead and try, partner. Okay. Tykea's in the kitchen talking to Eric while he's preparing the meal. Remember, they went on a blind date when Eric arrived, and they really had a good time, good chemistry. They're flirting back and forth, and she's like, oh, yeah, if we possibly, end up in a relationship, woo, 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 woo. And he was like, not possibly. And she was like, oh, okay, my bad. Like, my bad. He was like, no, I already know I'm going to be in a relationship with you. I was like, oh, okay, Eric, go ahead and let your intentions be known. So he was like, he's really feeling her. He really likes her. They're having a cute little conversation. And then here comes Carmen. So Carmen is the other vet, Army vet. Oh, I think she's Air Force vet. She was a blind date who came in as well. She came in the week before Eric, and she went on the date with Laverne. And she comes in just super like flirtatious and kind of interrupts their conversation without even just being like, hey, what are you guys talking about? Like, she made her presence known and basically was like, the kid, get out of here. I'm about to talk to him. Like, I want to talk to you. So she pulls him, whatever, they in the kitchen. It was real awkward for a minute. But Takea was like, you know what? Come find me when you get a chance. And he was like, I definitely will. Leaves out, and come to find out that plot twist, Carmen and Eric know each other. They've known each other for years. He says that she hired him to be her chef, I guess, at some event years ago. And they've always had this flirty chemistry. They've never actually tried to be in a relationship or anything like that. But I guess this is the time for him to see if that is a possibility. She goes in with this whole, oh, you could be honest with me, you like her, huh? And he was like, yeah, she's the strongest connection I have right now. She was like, well, who's stronger? Who's your number one? Me. He was like, well, my mouth is saying you. Like, basically, he ain't trying to be mean, but probably the other girl. But, okay, he know y'all got background and chemistry, whatever. But here's the thing. If he didn't date you, it's probably a reason for that. And I don't know if it was just like, I don't date my clients or whatever it was. But if y'all have known each other this long, I'm sure the chance has presented itself. Especially because right now, y'all both single. So, yeah. But I guess they'll try to see if they can work it out as well. Next up is Tori and Ace. So they are sitting there talking, and some kind of way he was like, let me spit this poem for you. So he goes with a little spoken word, and they have a good talk, and she's like blushing. She's feeling it. Then Precious and Paul, Wiley and Clifton, they were all kind of like chatting with Precious at different times, and she was being like overly sexual again with each of the men or whatever. She was losing her voice, and Paul was like, she needs to dial that down. Like, he was not attracted to that. But you remember, Paul was one of her stronger connections, and she saved him the week before. But he's looking at her like, you probably too young. You acting a little too young, because he didn't met Katrina now, who, he thinks is mature, even though we ain't seen much about her. But the energy, he was like, she came with a lot of energy, and she really needs to dial that down. Demetrius also ends up saying something about Precious too later on, and he was just talking to her. He was like, I just don't know if she has the depth, because it's not going to always be about parties and drinking and brunch and all this stuff. Like, sometimes you're going to have to get deep, and I guess he's not feeling it. But in her defense, they're at a party. So she's having a fun time. She's not trying to get too deep, but this is a dating show, so she has to be able to, do both. Okay, so then Tori's talking to Sabrina. So now, Tori and Sabrina were on that group date to the monuments where they were sitting across from each other. And Sabrina did say that she had a strong connection with both Tori and Demetrius. So he's at the piano playing. He sings her a little song. I'm like, oh, he's very creative. And he had also brought her some cupcakes, which I thought was really cute. It was 2 cupcakes from this special place. He asked her if she likes sweets. She said this is the first gift that anybody has given her, and it really just meant so much to her. And, he might be kind of creeping up on Demetrius. Then there's AP and Eric. So AP and Eric actually came the same week, but they had not gotten a chance to date. And he's talking to her. She again brings up her story about her husband who passed away. And Eric again says, like, he just doesn't know if she's ready to love. And, yeah, she just, she really just brings her past up a lot. And I was like, okay. I can understand, like, this is your first conversation with people, so it would come up. but it's like she goes into like so much details instead of just saying, yes, my husband passed away, unless they ask like, oh my God, what happened, or how old. Like if they don't do that, you could probably leave that out until later date, not on your very first encounter. Demetrius is talking to Laverne, and then there's a group of women, I think it was Precious and Carmen and somebody else, and they were just saying how Laverne seems like he doesn't want to be here. He's kind of standoffish. And Demetrius, he didn't say those exact words, but he did say he realized something was kind of off about Laverne. So he talks to him, and he was like, yeah, I'm just really chilling in the cut. Like, I'm just okay. Nothing is really going on. And I was like, no, I do recall maybe, was it not Dakia or somebody like last week during the deliberations, they did make some comments about Laverne as well. So it seems like the women aren't really feeling him, but I know Joy is, and he was feeling Ace. Okay, so Clifton and Joy sneak away. We had to sneak away and get us some time. They are so super cute. Joy is like, if y'all don't feel this sexual chemistry between us, then y'all blind, basically, because it's there. Like, they are just so cute. It just looks like they have a lot of fun. Tommy comes back and he says, like, listen, a lady is going home. I'm going to put the fellas and we're going to have a chat. And so he talks to the guys, basically, who you feeling, who you not feeling. And so Wiley said that he was definitely feeling the new girl, Christina. And then Paul also said he was feeling Christina. Eric says Dakia and him had an instant connection. Donovan, the newest guy, he also said that he had a connection with Dakia. Demetrius says Sabrina, and so does Tori. Clifton says Carmen. I was like, wait, what? You the one was calling her baby Jesus because she had them blue contacts in. Clifton. But I guess he didn't got to know her, and so he like her now. And then he said Joy. Laverne says Ace, and then he was like, Joy is me. It's like a rap session. She could spit her bars, and I could spit my... he always got some kind of soliloquy. And Clifton got the nerve to try to be jealous. Well, you said Carmen first, sir. You didn't say Joy, even though we already know Joy, your number one. So he was like, nah, he gonna say, Laverne gonna say Joy is all me. Nah, brother, she me. He said that's a confessional, not in there. But that's what he was thinking. So he didn't feel like he didn't got a little jealous because Joy making connections outside of him. And then they said, like, who are you guys not feeling? That's what Tommy asked. And Donovan said he's not feeling Precious. Clifton said Precious. Paul says Sabrina. And, remember Sabrina on their date told him that she thought of him as a mentor. So, it's honest. Laverne said he's not feeling Sabrina or Dakia. Clifton, and Eric both said AP. Clifton go about the brother when she's made that comment that he was like the brother. And then Eric was just like, I just don't know if she's ready to love. Tommy tells him, you typically when we're all together, I will tell the person who is leaving. But I'm going to leave that up to y'all. Y'all figure it out. Be kind with them. Okay, let's do it. So Demetrius goes out there. The group is there. You see the women are kind of nervous. They don't know who's going home. And Demetrius says, AP, can you step forward? Precious, can you step forward? Precious says she's shocked. What am I doing up here? She says she was not expecting this at all. He might be giving her walking papers. And then there's a cliffhanger. It is over. We go to the next week episode. Y'all let me know who y'all think gonna go home. Precious is entertainment. So I'm gonna say it's gonna be AP. But that's really unfortunate since she just got there last week. But that's what happened to old boy Cornelius, honey. He came one week and he was gone the next. So yeah, guys. Let me know in the comments below. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, do so. Like, comment, subscribe, and share my videos. And I'll catch you guys next week with another reality recap. Until next time. See